Your hands are sweaty, your voice is shaking, your legs feel like jello. You look up at the crowd of people in front of you and literally feel like you could pass out. Like 74% of the U.S. population, you could have glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. 6.3 million Americans have been clinically diagnosed with some form of phobia. I grew up as a very anxious child who was scared of everything from tornadoes to my own shadow. So I have done plenty of research on phobias. Every single person in this room is scared of something. When you leave today, you will know if your fear is actually a phobia or if it's just a normal fear. You will also know the best coping techniques. Phobias can usually be easily identified. Everyone can learn to live with his or her specific phobia. To be able to live with your phobia, the first step is knowing that you actually do have a phobia. Many phobias are common, and you have probably heard of them. Arachnophobia is the fear of spiders. Acrophobia is the fear of heights. Claustrophobia is the fear of small places. Aerophobia is the fear of flying. And agoraphobia is the fear of public places. There are also many phobias that aren't so common. You may find them to be silly, but some people struggle with them every day. Lutrophobia is the fear of otters. Spectrophobia is the fear of your own reflection in the mirror. Selenophobia is the fear of the moon. Chronophobia is the fear of time. Geniophobia is the fear of chins. And xenophobia is the fear of the great mole rat. Although sometimes there isn't a clear line between a fear and a phobia, there are certain things that distinguish one from the other. A fear is a normal human response to a dangerous situation. A phobia is an over-exaggerated response to something that could be a small threat or not even a threat at all. It is normal to fear a bee. Bees can sting you, and when they do, it hurts very bad. Although it's normal to fear a bee, it would be considered a phobia if you stopped doing something you love, like gardening, just because you were so afraid to be stung by one. It is normal to fear tornadoes. Tornadoes are very destructive and sometimes fatal natural disasters. Although it's normal to fear tornadoes, it would be considered a phobia if you stayed in your house anytime you saw a breeze blowing in the trees, because you fear tornadoes so much. The next step after knowing what a phobia is figuring out whether or not you need to do something about it. So you think you have a phobia. How do you know, beyond a doubt, that you need help? There are many physical and emotional signs of a phobia. The physical signs are difficulty breathing, chest pain, a pounding heart, shaking, sweating, and hot or cold flashes. The emotional signs are feelings of anxiety or panic, feeling a need to escape, fear of losing control, fear of going crazy, feeling as though you're going to die, and knowing you're being unreasonable but unable to control your fears. So you have all or most of the emotional and physical signs of a phobia. Now what? How do you cope with it? I'm sure everyone has heard the term, face your fears. There couldn't be a truer statement for self-help treatment of phobias. You will never get over your fear if you don't put yourself in close contact with that specific thing that you're afraid of. Learn how to relax. When confronted with your phobia, the first thing you should do is take a deep breath in through your nose and then slowly let it out through your mouth. Challenge your negative thoughts. Write down the reasons why you're afraid on a piece of paper. Ask yourself if it is reasonable for you to be afraid. Write a separate list of what you could do if you ever got put in a situation where you had to face your fears. There are many more techniques for coping with phobias, but I find these to be the most effective. The phrase, "the only thing to fear is fear itself," couldn't hold more truth. Once identifying what your phobias are, if any, you can easily learn to accept them and cope with them. So next time you're giving a speech with sweaty hands and a shaky voice, or you see a spider crawling across your floor and you feel like you could just pass out, just remember, do not let your fears choose your destiny.